Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Coach Jason here from Top Line Running. So I'm going to do a 12-week outdoor spring training program broken down here for you that's dedicated to run a good mile and a good 2 mile. Whether you're transitioning, or no matter how you're transitioning from the indoor season to the outdoor season, I have it broken down for you in slides here. So anytime along the way, if you're a coach or an athlete, if you have questions, put them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Okay. And keep in mind, a well-balanced training program is something I always emphasize. Okay, so you should be able to move up to the 5K and run well, move down to the 800 and run well, or even double later on in the season as well. So that's all included in this training program. If you have any questions along the way, again, like I said, don't hesitate to ask. And if you're a runner or coach and you're not subbed to this channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button. So I've got a lot more of these. I'm doing mile, 2 mile today. Then we're going to do 800 mile, 3K, 5K, 5K, 10K, all this type of stuff as we start to transition to the outdoor season. Whether you're high school or college, you'll get it as well. And then I'm gonna transition to my half marathon series and marathon series too. So I don't want you to miss anything. Okay, anything at all. Now, with that said, let's get right into this. I have it broken down 3 sets of 4-week blocks. Okay, that way you can adapt to a certain stimulus of training. And again, it's modifiable to you depending on the type of athlete you're working with or depending on yourself as well. So let's get right into it. Okay. Week 1, an easy run on Monday. I always like to, and again, this is up to you to decide as a coach whether this is a good schedule for you or not. I found Tuesday, Friday, and a non-race week to be a good schedule to work on. That way you have 2 days of recovery in between the workouts, and then 3 days of recovery from the second workout to the workouts of the first workout next week as well. So it's an easy run. Again, depending on what your mileage, let's just say it's 5 miles. An easy run on on Monday. You start the week off well. Start it off with a recovery run, okay? Especially if you're in school. Get off to a good start. And workout day, Tuesday. Okay, as always, a good warm-up, drills and strides. I can't emphasize that enough. I didn't have enough space to fit that in here, but as you know, this is pretty obvious, okay? And depending on the pace of the workout, I always like to try to find some pace finders. So a couple of 200s if you're looking to run a tempo run. And as you can see here, the workout is 10 minutes at tempo, your prescribed tempo pace based on what you run for the mile, okay? Then you take a 5-minute active recovery. And then you do 4 times a 300. You take a 1-minute recovery after each rep, and then a 5-minute recovery after the last one. And then you're going to do that at mile pace or 1,500-meter pace. And then you can do another 10-mile tempo, take a 5-minute recovery, and then 4 times 150 with a 1-minute recovery at 800-meter pace. So instead of a 20-minute consecutive tempo, which would be applicable as well, but that's if you happen to be running a 5K a little bit more frequently, then you can combine the 20 minutes together. I have it broken down into pieces. That way you can do a tempo, do a hit at 1,500-meter pace, do a tempo, do a hit at 800-meter pace. Address both paces here. Okay, and then the next day, Wednesday, and obviously a good cool down. Wednesday, a semi-long run, 5 times a 50-meter stride, just to flush out Tuesday's workout. And again, depending on what your long run is, let's just say your long run's 10 miles on Saturday, your semi-long run will probably be 7, 8 miles, something like that, okay? About 75% of your weekly long run. Okay, Thursday's a steady run, which is a slightly faster pace than the semi-long run. Semi-long run is always at an easy pace, okay? So Thursday's a steady run. Let's just say your easy run on Monday is 5 miles. Your steady run on Thursday will be like 6 miles. And your semi-long run will be 7, 8 miles on Wednesday. Friday's workout too. Okay, good warm-up drills and strides. And whatever the long rep is that you want to do the pace finder. So you do 2 times the 200 at 5K pace here because you're running the longer reps at 5K pace. Okay, you take a 200-meter jog. That helps you find the pace in the workout before the workout starts. Okay, the workout itself is 5 times an 800 with a 2-minute recovery at 5K pace. And again, you're basing everything off what you recently run for the mile. Okay. And then you do 4 times a 200 with a 1-minute recovery at 1,500-meter pace. Just a little bit of turnover. Okay. And then a good cool down. Then your long run 9 to 10 miles. And then you do an easy 3 to 4 miles on Sunday. Now, before I go any further, there are 2 videos on this channel that if you haven't seen them, I encourage you to look at. I say based on what you run for the mile. Well, there are 2 videos I have here. I have it broken down, a mile time trial all the way from 8 minutes all the way down to 4 minutes in 20-second increments, okay? and what your equivalents for 3K and 5K would be, and your 800 or 400 would be, based on what you run for the mile. There's another video that complements that, is what your training paces should be for everything based on that. I highly encourage you to look at both of them. It's all calculated. It's all done for you already. So you don't have to do much of the work there. I have it already done for you. So I highly encourage you to take a look at that. And again, you can apply everything here based on what you're running for the mile. And I'll just say this as a rule of thumb. If you happen to be closer to the 3K, 5K equivalent than you are the 400, 800 equivalents, that's a sign to improve speed development. On the flip side, if you're close to the 408 equivalent as you are to 3K and 5K, that's a sign to improve aerobic development, whether it be incorporating tempos, threshold training, 5K pace and 3K pace up, which is VO2 max running, all that type of stuff. And there's one thing, if you haven't noticed on my training programs, and it's in here too, I balance training. So you'll have VO2 max stuff in here, which is 5K pace and 3K pace. You'll have tempos or thresholds. You'll have speed development on a regular basis. So we're emphasizing balance all along the way. So I wanted to point that out. Now let's get right back into it. Week 2, okay? Your easy run is always Monday. Your workout day is Tuesday. You warm up with drills and strides. Then the workout is 300, 300, 600, 600, 300, 300, okay? You take a 2-minute recovery after everything. The 300s are going to be at mile pace, and the 600s are going to be at 3K pace, okay? Teachers had a little bit of pace, but you're addressing both paces here, okay? Then you have your cool down. Not every workout needs to be high volume, okay? Wednesday's your semi-long run. Thursday's your steady run with four times a 100-meter stride. In the non-race week, I have the stride day on Wednesday, the day after the workout. On the race week, I have it on Thursday. That way you're used to accelerating every couple of days. Okay, and Friday's an easy 4 miles and strides if you want to do that. Then Saturday's a race day. Okay, in the early season to the mid-season, I always emphasize a longer cool down to help you sustain the mileage that you need to sustain a longer successful season in the spring. Okay, and then your off day is Sunday. Every other Sunday is an off day. Okay, so week 3, let's get into it. Easy run Monday. There's always consistent here. Easy runs on Monday. Okay, let's see if you have any comments here. How would I schedule workouts if you race every Thursday, Red Tunka? I would do probably a light workout Monday. Okay, and then you race on Thursday, and then I would probably do a long run. Obviously, keep it on Saturday with a couple of strides or something like that at the end of the long run, and then have off on Sunday or off every other Sunday, depending on how old you are. So if you're racing Thursday, your main workout would be Monday. Okay, let's get back into it. Okay, so workout week 3 here, similar as week 1. Okay, 10 minutes at tempo, rest 5. But now you're doing 4 times a 500 at 3K pace. You take a 90-second recovery after each rep, 5 minutes after the last one. Then you do another 10-minute tempo, 5-minute recovery, 4 times a 300 with a 1-minute recovery at mile pace. And then your cool down. Okay. It's a progression off what you did in week 1. Then your semi-long run, 5 times a 50-meter stride on Wednesday. There goes your speed development. And then your steady run on Thursday. And then Friday's workout, 5 times a 600 with a 2-minute recovery at 3K pace. Okay. Lock into the goal pace you're looking to run. You can even progress from current to goal. It's up to you to decide. Okay. Then you do 3 times 150 on the back end of it. The speed on the back end of the workout helps you simulate accelerating when you're already fatigued. That's what your legs are going to feel like at the end of a mile race or 3K race or 3K race or a 5K race. You want to know how to kick. And if you can finish a 5K race at 3K pace or even faster, that's good. You can finish a 3K pace at mile pace or even faster, that's even better. Okay, this helps you do that. Then your long run, 9 to 10 miles on Saturday, easy 3 to 4 miles on Sunday. And again, you modify the volume as you see fit as a coach or an athlete, okay? Week 4, easy run Monday, okay? Now, Tuesday's workout, you're going to do a 1K rep at 3K pace, okay? Goal 3K pace, just one of them. Take a 4-minute active recovery. Then you do 8 times a 200 on the back end, take a 45-second recovery at mile pace. And that's the workout. And your semi-long run Wednesday, your steady run Thursday. And now you can do 3 times progression 150s on Thursday. Progression 150s is 50 float into 50 stride into 50 sprint. Each 50-meter segment gets faster, teaches you how to change gears multiple times. Okay. And that's a very deceptive weapon to have at the end of a race. Okay. Then you easy 4 miles Friday. Then you do some strides if you want. Then race day on Saturday with the longer cool down. Then off day on Sunday. Okay. That's week 4. Now, week 5. Oops. Sorry about that. I did week 3. Week 5. Easy run Monday. Now, the first block is to get you used to certain things. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start incorporate multiple paces here within the workout and kind of fluctuate. Weeks 5 through 8. These are when the races start to get a little bit more strategic. When the weather starts to warm up a little bit, you start to run a little bit faster, okay? This is with this stuff in mind. Okay, so workout on Tuesday's workout is 2 sets of 1,200, 800, 400. The 1,200 is going to be a 5K pace, take a 3-minute recovery. The 800-meter rep is going to be a 3K pace, take a 2-minute recovery. The 400-meter rep is going to be a mile pace, 1,500-meter pace, take a 6-minute recovery. After that, and then you repeat the set. 3 miles worth of volume in the workout, but at multiple paces here. Okay. Then your semi-long run Wednesday, 5 by 50-meter strides to flush out the workout. Steady run Thursday. Then Friday's workout, 4 times a 1K with a 2-minute recovery at 5K pace. So before we did the 800s at 5K pace, now we're doing 1K reps at 5K pace. Then on the back end, you do a 300, 200, and 100 at 800-meter pace with an equal recovery, walk or jog, or a little bit of both. Okay, that's that speed on the back end of the workout. That's Friday. Then long run, 9 to 10 miles on Saturday, easy 3 to 4 miles on Sunday. Okay. Week 6. Week 6. Easy run Monday. Okay, now workout Tuesday. 1,600, 1,200, 800, 400. You take an 800 jog half rep as a recovery. So you jog an 800 after the 1,600, 600 after the 1,200, 400 after the 800, and so on. The 1,600-meter rep is going to be a 5K pace, 1,200 a 3K pace, 800 as close as you can to mile pace, and then your 400 meters is going to as close as you can to 800-meter pace. As the reps get shorter, they also get faster. Okay, but that's the whole workout. There's a similar workout called the Michigan. Okay, but the Michigan has folks doing a mild tempo jog after each one of these hard reps and then going right into it. That's the difference between this and the Michigan. Now, you can do this workout twice if you like. Do an equal jog recovery after each rep after the first time, and then you can do a half jog rep as a recovery after the second one. I would do the equal jog recovery during the indoor spring season, indoor winter season, and then this during the outdoor season. Okay. Then your semi-long run is Wednesday. Steady run on Thursday, 5 by 50-meter strides. Easy 4 miles and strides are optional on Friday. Then race day with the longer cool down on Saturday. Then off day on Sunday. Okay. If you notice any consistent patterns, let me know. The patterns are all here. This is to give you a chance to adapt. And it generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to adapt to a change in training. And that's why I have it in 3 to 4 week blocks so you can adapt before you move on to something else. Okay. Before your athletes move on to something else. As always, an easy run Monday. Tuesday's workout. 2 sets of 4, 6, 4, 2. This is broken mile. Okay. Broken 1,600 meters. You take a 2-minute after all the reps. You take a 5-minute recovery after the 200-meter rep before the second set. The 4, the 6, and the 4s are going to be a goal mile pace. The 2s, 800-meter pace, and so on. Okay, and that's the workout. 2 miles worth of volume, but that's it. Okay, you could even do a slight tempo, a mile tempo or something like that if you want to help elevate the heart rate before the workout starts. Okay, if you haven't heard me say this, if you're doing longer reps in the workout, then a couple of pace 500 200s is a good idea. If you're doing shorter, faster stuff, you can always do a tempo rep in the beginning to help you elevate the heart rate, transition into stuff like this. But it's up to you to decide whether you want to do that or not. Okay, that's Tuesday's workout. Wednesday, semi-long run, 5 times 100. Equal recovery, walk or jog or both. Steady run Thursday. Then Friday's workout, a 2-mile tempo, take a 5 to 6 minute active recovery, and then an 800, 600, 400, 300 with a 2-minute recovery from 3K pace down to 800-meter pace. Okay. I did this workout in college. I ran 2 minutes, 126, 53, and 39 for the 8, 6, 4, and 3. So just to put it in perspective, it is possible to do this. And this is a very good workout for middle distance and distance runners. Extremely good. This is a great workout for distance runners who want to step down and run fast. Okay. Just like the workouts above are good for middle distance runners who want to step up and run fast. Okay. Then Friday's long run, 9 to 10 miles, easy 3 to 4 miles on Sunday. Okay. Week 8, your easy run on Monday. Tuesday's workout. 2 sets of broken 2-mile now. 800, 1200, 800, 400. Okay. The 8s are going to be at 3K pace. The 12s are going to be at 5K pace. Okay. You take a 2-minute recovery after the 8s. Take a 2-minute recovery after the 12s. Then you do then you do another 800 at 3K pace. Also take a 2-minute recovery. And then the 400, you're going to run at goal-mile pace, but you take a 6-minute recovery, and then you're going to repeat it. This is 4 miles worth of volume. This is a little bit over distance, but this is a good workout too to test your strength. Okay. So that should you want to move up and run a 5K later in the season, this will give you a good idea of how ready you are. Wednesday, semi-long run. Thursday, your steady run. 4 times a 200 on the back end of it. 1-minute recovery from mile pace down 800-meter pace. At this point, you should be pretty sharp in the season. Easy 4 miles on Friday with strides, if you want to do strides. Then your race day with the longer cool down is on Saturday, and your off day Sunday. Okay. Now we're getting down to the last 4 weeks of the season here. Weeks 9, easy run Monday. Now we start simulating a little bit more. 2-mile tempo on Tuesday workout. 5 to 6 minute active recovery to help you transition to this tough workout here. 6 times a 400. Take a 3-minute recovery. You go from mile pace down to 800-meter pace. This is a hard workout, but as a distance runner, it's a very good one to do. As a middle distance runner, it's a very good one to do. Okay. But I always encourage the tempo component in the beginning to help make this workout more effective so you can take full advantage of it. But that's the workout. 6 times the 400 with a 3-minute recovery. Then your semi-long run is on Wednesday. 3 times progression 150 again with a jog equal recovery or walk. 50, 50, 50. 50 float, 50 stride, 50 sprint. Flush out Tuesday's workout. Steady run Thursday. Then Friday, 3 times an 800 at 3K pace. Your goal 3K pace at this point. 2-minute recovery. Then you do 3 times a 400, 90-second recovery at your goal mile pace. And then you're going to do 3 times a 200 with a 60-second recovery at your goal 800-meter pace. Again, simulation workout here. This will tell you how ready you are or how close you are to your goal races and what you want to run for them. Whether it's mile, 2-mile, or even 800. And for a lot of folks who run the 2-mile, a lot of folks do come back to the 4x8 or run the DMR. This gives you a good idea to get ready, a good way to get ready for it. Okay, your long run, we cut back a little bit, 8 to 9 miles now on Saturday. Easy 3 to 4 miles on Sunday. Okay, now's the time, if you're going to cut back volume a little bit, do it starting week 9 and kind of hold it along the way instead of dropping mileage each week and increasing intensity. Last thing you want to do is throw the body out of rhythm. Okay, week 10, easy run Monday. And you can even cut the easy run down to 4 miles if you want on Monday. 2-mile tempo, 5 to 6 minute active recovery on Tuesday. Okay. Then a 600, 500, 400, 300, 200, 100. Equal rest recovery to the rep. You go from basically 3K pace down to 400-meter pace. Each rep gets faster. Take the equal recovery to facilitate that. Then your semi-long run Wednesday, steady run with 5 times a 50 meters on Thursday. Easy 3 miles now and cut it back from 4 to 3. Strides if you want. Then race day on Saturday, we cut the longer cool down away now. Just a regular cool down. And then your off day Sunday. Okay. Last 2 weeks. The week prior, this is an important week too. Easy run Monday. Then Tuesday's workout, 2-mile tempo, 5 to 6 minute active recovery. Then you're either going to do a 600-meter or a 1,200-meter time trial, depending on what you're running. Okay. If you're running, you can even do a 2K time trial if you'd like. So if you're going to run an 800 meters the following week, then you do a 600. If you're going to run the mile, you run a 1,200. If you're going to run the 2-mile, then you run the 2K. At your goal pace, it'll give you a good idea of how ready you are because you need to know what it feels like to be at this point at your goal pace and continue to move on. And you still have more to run. You take an 8-minute recovery, and then you're either going to do, for the distance runners, you're going to do 4 times a 300 with a 1-minute recovery, or a middle distance runners 4 times a 150 with a 1-minute recovery. It really depends on what you're racing the following week. Okay. Then your semi-long run on Wednesday, 5 times 100. This is more of a relaxed 100 or progressively faster 100. Walk back just to flush out whatever you're doing Tuesday. Steady run Thursday. Friday, 4 times an 800 meter with a 2-minute recovery at your goal 3K pace, or 4 times 400 with a 1-minute recovery at your goal mile pace. So if you're looking to run 440, you're running these in 69.70, no faster or no slower. You're looking to run 10 minutes with a 2 mile, you're running those in 229, 230, and so on. You're looking to run 920, you're looking to run them in 219, 220. Okay, the recovery is going to come up pretty quickly. If you feel like you're ready to cut it down to 90 seconds or a minute, you could do that too. You want to try to simulate the race as much as you can. Okay, that's the workout Friday. Then the long run, we cut back a little bit more. 7, 8 miles on Saturday, easy 3 miles on Sunday. Okay, and then the championship week. Easy run Monday. No matter what you're doing that Saturday, I like to do a threshold workout the Tuesday of. Okay, helps you slow things down in training to keep the zip in the legs to help you race faster on Saturday. So 2 times a 200 at threshold pace. Okay, then you take a 200-meter jog. Then 4 times an 800 with a 1-minute recovery at your threshold pace. Then on the back end, you're just going to do 1 times a 300-meter rep fast. Okay, you let go on the 300. But the 4 times an 800's got to be at threshold pace. You slow it down, relax a little bit. I want you to relax this week. Okay, then your steady run Wednesday instead of a steady long run. And you cut it back to easy instead of a steady run on Thursday. You do an easy run Thursday, 5 times 50 meters. Then 3 miles easy with strides on Friday if you want to do strides. And then Saturday's go times. This is your goal mile and 2-mile race. And if you're running a double, you run a double. Okay. And then your off day is on Sunday. Got another comment here. If someone is doubling, this is a good question. I was just going to get to this, Jimmy. Let me get off screen here. Okay. If somebody's doubling, okay, and I actually put out a video. I'm going to do a video on this, actually, how to run an effective season. It's a good question, too, because more often than not, I talk to athletes and especially who have coaches that run them in multiple races throughout, especially the indoor season. They're doubling a lot. And is it really worth it, is the question. Do you have enough recovery? Is it similar to the training? And why do I bring this up? Because a lot of folks will run, let's just say you run the 2 mile at 9 a.m. and then you come back and then run the 4x8, but it's at like at 5 p.m. You're waiting around 7 to 8 hours to do that for 2 minutes of racing. Is that worth your time? Okay. As you get closer to the championship season, the races tighten up. Okay. And you won't have that much of a wait in between these races. Should your highest mileage be 2 weeks or 1 week before your championship race to taper the beat? I would start, Mila, if you haven't heard, I would taper the last 3 to 4 weeks. I would just drop the volume and stay there. I would not continue to drop volume every single week. So I had this in 12-week blocks. Okay, 4 weeks, 4 weeks, 4 weeks. So 4 weeks, then you increase a little bit of volume 4 weeks, and you can come back down, drop lower the last 4 weeks. Give your body a chance to adapt, whether you're increasing or decreasing, no matter what. Okay, but going back to the question of somebody's doubling, this is a really important question. Okay, and especially in the summer, or not summer, the spring, a lot of times the track meets are, and as the season progresses, the weather gets warmer, right? And there's no guarantee you're going to be in a shaded area. So obviously you want to take advantage of shade as much as you possibly can. Stay out of the sun. Okay, and depending on how much time you have in between 2 races, you want to minimize or cut the cool down in half. Okay, and use the other half as the warm up for the second race. Keep your feet up. Get a little bit of food in you or fuel in you, something that's easily digestible. Okay, something that's not going to sit in your stomach. And you try to stay loose and stay off your feet if you're doubling. Okay, I highly encourage you to stay off your feet. I understand you want to cheer your team. I totally get it. Okay, totally get it. But you can stay off your feet while you do that too. So if somebody's doubling, Jimmy, I always encourage them to double later on in the season and not too often throughout the season. Okay. And the reason why also, if you're going to come back, if you have to qualify in the 4x8 or DMR, whatever it might be, the chances of everybody being fresh are not always that high. I would take my athletes to a separate meet and just run them in the 4x8 where everybody's fresh and get a fast qualifying time. That way you can just lock down the qualifier for championships and then worry about that later. Because as you get fitter, you'll be able to double better. But if you're doubling too much throughout the season, you might be a little bit tired later on in the season, right? So it's something I encourage coaches. And again, this is a tough part. Okay, this is a tough question, but I don't beat around the bush when it comes like stuff like this, because to me, and I can't speak for all the other coaches and athletes, but the athlete's progression and development is most important to me. I don't really care about scoring meet points and league meet points and be having the best dual meet record and so on and so forth. Especially if it's at the expense of the athletes. If you have, and I've had this experience, personal experience. I joined a program. They asked me to work with the middle distance and distance runners, but the other coach there had a high emphasis on dual meets and racing them twice a week. And this is where him and I butted heads a little bit, unfortunately. So now he was the head coach. So, the head coach is the head coach. He or she's going to decide what they want to do. But personally, I made it clear that, it's important to me and that the athlete is put first here. Okay. Especially if you have athletes who are scholarship athletes, if they're fast, they have to be treated a little bit differently. Okay. I'm not saying better and so on and so forth. Their training has to be treated a little bit differently. You have to put them in a position to run fast when it counts the most. If you're racing too much, chances are you're going to run your best races way too early and then be fried during championship season. Okay. So going back to the initial question, I'm only a fan of doubling when it's during championship season, when everybody's at their fittest. Well, exactly, Jimmy. Only for a conference. I don't, and again, every coach has a different priority, right? Programs have different priorities. That's fine. But I always make it clear that the athlete's development is most important. Their health and well-being is most important. I don't really care about scoring league meet points. I'd rather them score at a championship meet. Okay. And if they're in a position to get, run fast and get into college with a scholarship, I want them to do that. The faster they are, the better off they're going to be. And this is where you have to be selective with their racing and their training, right? So, and again, not every coach is going to agree, and that's okay. Okay. That's okay. I can't speak for everybody else, but running your best when it counts the most is it has helped me build successful teams. Right. And when they're fit and they're not tired and fried, that's when they're going to be able to maximize their doubles. And again, like I said, if you look at the schedules, you're on the 2 mile, it's early in the day. You're on the 4x8 and the 4x4, it's way late in the day. There's usually a huge gap in between, especially during winter track. If you're familiar with the Armory in New York City, and I'm from New York City, sometimes you'll have 40 heats at the 400. You'd be waiting for like 2 hours just for the 400. So, and some of these meets go slow to fast. Some of them go fast to slow. And you won't always know until you get there. Excuse me. So, and this is where you have to be aware of what's going on. And this is where it's important to have your athletes stay off their feet as much as possible at a track meet. Take advantage of the training that you've been doing all these weeks and all the hard work you've been putting in, right? This is the time to take advantage of it. So that's my training plan right there for the 1 2 mile. And again, it's modifiable, it's flexible. So that if you want, I plugged in a race every other week just to kind of keep it consistent. Okay. I understand there's a couple of, sometimes you'll race multiple weeks. I get it. That happened. I did the same thing. So, but I wanted to factor that in for consistency. So 4 weeks of getting used to the blocks of training, then 4 weeks of incorporating the multiple paces so that you can move up and move down. And then the 4 weeks of kind of pinpointing the more race specific stuff at the end of the season to get you ready to run your best races. Okay. Like I always say, Tuesday, Friday is a good schedule that I found in a non-race week. And then in a race week, I just go Tuesday with a little bit of acceleration on Thursday. Why do I go Tuesday? Because And I found this a lot, even on my TikTok account. If you're not following me on my TikTok, access the coaches on my TikTok account as well. So, and anybody in here that's not subbed to this channel, please hit that subscribe button and notification too. I've got about 2/3 of the people who watch the videos here that aren't subscribed to the channel. So, I want to try to get to 10,000 subs this year. So your help, your support's greatly appreciated. But back to this. I've noticed a lot of folks who race Saturday, take off Sunday, and then come back on Monday to do a workout. I've spoken to way too many people. You haven't recovered from the race yet on Saturday. You haven't even flushed it out of your legs, but you can come back and do a workout Monday. I found it to be counterproductive. This is another reason why I start people with an easy run on Monday and then a workout Tuesday, especially if they're in school. It allows you to start the week off right, allows you to ease into the week. And the workouts are going to be more intense as you get fitter, right? So that's kind of my rule of thumb there. But again, it's up to you to decide as a coach or an athlete how you want to structure the training. Okay. You know your athletes better than I do. Okay. So hope you found this helpful. And again, this is the mile and 2 mile. Next up is going to be the 800 and the mile. Okay. And we're going to continue to build on that. Then I'm going to go 3K and 5K and 5K and 10K. We'll do that over the next week or two so that we're heading into outdoor track season. All these live streams will be done ahead of time so that if people have questions along the way, if you know athletes and coaches who you think might find this helpful and interesting, let them know that I'll be live on this channel. I will put out, and this is why I tell people, if you're subscribed, just hit the notification button if you haven't done that yet, okay? Because you'll know exactly when these lives happen. And I'm always here to answer the questions live time. And I thank you for asking your questions. And there's no bad questions. Ask them. Don't be afraid to ask. Okay? They're important questions. You want to learn, you want to get better. I want you to learn and get better. So hope you found this helpful. If you did, hit the thumbs up on the way out. Have a great day and have a great rest of your season, gang. And I'll talk to you the next time.